Hi everyone! In this new devlog, we will see some details that help in the immersion of the game, and on the other hand, some ideas for the new skill tree system. So let's get started! One of the things that help the immersion of the game is to have a character that is reactive to the environment and the player's interactions. For this, you don't have to overthink too much. A set of small details can help the immersion. In this case, I decided to make the player move his head in the direction the camera moves. To achieve this behavior, I followed a tutorial from Code Like Me. I leave the link in the description if you are interested. He uses the aim offset blend space, but I had to make some modifications because the animations I had were for the full body and created some issues with the rest of them. So if we look at the blueprint, we will see that I use the layer blend per bone to mask the animation so it only affects the head. I think it still needs some tuning. The movement is more noticeable from up to down than from side to side, but I will keep refining it. On the other hand, I started to design the new skill tree system. In my GDD, I started to write the first part of the tree, which is the one referring to the weapon group. In Howling Tales, Lupo is not constrained to use one weapon or another. He can pick up or buy any weapons he wants, and in some cases even combine them. The system is broken down into weapon groups. These are single weapons equipped in the right hand, a melee weapon with shield, a melee weapon with a firearm, two melee weapons or two-handed melee weapons. The player will be able to assign skill points to the different groups to unlock more powerful and damaging combos. So he can choose between specializing in a specific group or dominating different groups in a more generic way. So far, I only have the design of some icons for the different weapon groups. Since my progress this week has been very little, I would like to share my design process for minimalist icons. I use Adobe Illustrator, but you can replicate it in any other vector program. The first and most important thing is to define the profile or silhouette. For that, I usually go to Google and browse for images related to my topic. Once I found an image that can work, I start the tracing process, which consists of creating a vector profile of the image. As you can see, I use the pen tool and create points following the image. Whenever I can, I only draw half of the shape, so I can duplicate and symmetrize it, which saves me time and ensures that the icons are totally symmetrical. Once I have the outline, I add unifying elements across the collection. In this case, for the grip of the weapons, I use this group of rectangles with rounded corners. This helps all the icons to be cohesive and have common design elements. If you design a collection of icons, it's important to design all icons at the same size instead of rescaling them. This helps to avoid different border thickness, balancing between negative and positive space, and being consistent through the collection. The ideal is to design the icons using a grid. Finally, I add details that increase the perception of complexity of the design and at the same time help to read better the different shapes in the weapon. I add some indentations to the hammer, and with the Pathfinder tool, I subtract the indentation from the shape, perforating the icon so the hole is transparent. And in a short time, I already have the icon design. This month of February, I'm traveling a lot. From Barcelona, I went back to Maui in Hawaii last week. Now I'm in Los Angeles, and next week I'll be in Mexico. And at the end of the month, I'll be in Atlanta. So it's hard to keep the weekly progress with so much movement. But I'll try my best to keep sharing my weekly devlogs. As always, thanks so much for watching and have a great week.